Dear friends, Honorable Madurai bench of Madras High Court, Justice K.K. Ramakrishnan delivered a judgment which is widely discussed or deliberated. The headline's caption, if you see, it gives an impression that the learned judge in his order is trying to be, more like shocking, like that it is coming, saying that the judge mentioned that the wife of the corrupt person should also take blame. She is responsible to prevent this husband from indulging in the corrupt practices. Actually, that presentation is actually wrong. The learned judge is a very good judgment on Prevention of Corruption Act. The way in which the judge, like an auditor, he analyzed each and every bit of the evidence that was presented before the trial court. And every point I will explain you. What the intention of the Honorable Madras High Court Madurai bench, authored by Justice K.K. Ramakrishnan, is very, very true it is. Corruption is a serious human rights violation. Today, if you see, the problem of our nation is the rich people are not keeping their money in India. Lakhs of crores of the Indian money is going outside the country. That is the first point. You can see. You can also see that insolvency and bankruptcy code, almost 12 to 16 lakh crores of money has been written off, public money. Though it is, everybody is telling this is a beautiful legislation compared to the previous legislation. It is a good legislation. All legislations are good. But this is a legislation utter failure. When you are testing it, what you could have achieved and what you have achieved is important. We cannot compare it with something, a lowest standard. You understand? The insolvency legislation is one shot. The nation has lost several lakhs of crores of public money. So in that context, today the corruption pervades throughout. It's pervasive. In that context, the judge made the comments. Very good lesson. It's possibly it's anguish. You can see, I have read the previous judgment and also made a video based on my friends asking me to do it in media. And we have seen the recent judgment on the defamation versus freedom of speech delivered by the judge. But this is a far-reaching consequence. One has to go through. Every person who is practicing in this Prevention of Corruption Act proceedings, how you can defend, how you should prosecute, both. How to establish the accused side that this is not unjust, ill-gotten wealth. And from the prosecution angle, how you have to toil to collect the data and to prove that the accused is guilty. Very nicely, it's like auditor, chartered accountants, so the way audit is done with evidence, it's a mixture. I would request you 39 pages judgment, all of you to read this. இது வந்து நீங்க பாத்தீங்கன்னா சப் இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் ஒருத்தர் வந்து கான்ஸ்டேபிளா சேர்ந்திருக்காரு. அவர் வந்து சப் இன்ஸ்பெக்டரா எலிவேட் ஆயிருக்காரு. And during the check-in period, his income is more by 6,44,000 from the known sources of income. That is the. Please note, he is not given advice to the wife. She is also an accused, A2 in this case. That is the point. He is not just brought the madam who is sitting in the house doing no work to this situation. It is more like a pity taken on her because generally this man is a inspector, sub-inspector, and then constable இருந்து வந்திருக்காரு. அண்ட் அவர் வந்து நிறைய பணம் சம்பாதிச்சிருப்பாரு. ஏன்னா இந்த 6,50,000 is what is legally drafted figures. Actual figures will be 100 times more than that. All assets are like that. And எங்கேயுமே அது clear cut case. That is, from that angle also one has to see. Now here, the wife is the accused too, because the properties together might have been in both of their names. She's an accused. It's not that she's not an accused and he brought her into the system and gave advice. That is, அது கிடையாது. அதுதான் ஒரு impression is being created, which is totally wrong. What an analysis of each and every point, minutely the judges read it, which means the judge wanted to give benefit of doubt to that lady. That is what you should understand. The trial court the investigation officer did the investigation and came to the conclusion that the income is more from the known sources by 6,44,000. And then he gave ஒரு நல்ல வேலை பண்ணியிருக்காரு, மொத்தம் டீட்டெயில்ஸ்லாம் கொடுத்தாரு. அண்ட் கொடுத்த அப்புறம் then a trial starts. Both sides adversarial proceedings. ரெண்டு பேருமே the side of the accused side will be defended. It's a normal way of defending. The first one, why did you choose that check-in period? It is arbitrary. எதனால இந்த check-in period you have chosen? There is no reasons given, and therefore it is arbitrary, and they added malefides also. அதுக்கு என்ன எவிடன்ஸ் கொடுத்தாங்களோ தெரியல. பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 1. பாயிண்ட் நம்பர் 2 பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, and the income sources one by one. அவர் வந்து once it is coming, how you got this income and all known sources of income. Agricultural income will always be there for everybody. Whoever it is, people who making a lot of money and not paying taxes and properly. That is for people who are not public servants. And public servants will have more problems. So one has to be dangerously careful. So I have agricultural income. My agricultural is now 4 lakhs, whereas this person has taken very little, 1,50,000 something. But ரெண்டாவது defense he took is, எங்களுக்கு கல்யாணம் பண்றச்சே I got 50 sovereigns of gold. அதில் 15 sovereigns I sold for 1,50,000. அது construction of the house யூஸ் பண்ணியிருக்கேன். The valuation of building is wrong. The valuers have not done the building proper evaluation. They gave higher valuation. அது ஒரு எனக்கு rental income இருக்கு. அந்த rental income is 1,75,000. அவர் only 1,50,000 எடுத்திருக்காரு. These are the grounds under which it was tested. I am just giving the brief. I'll read out everything. So this is whenever you are trying to, in this case, you are innocent till you proved accused. That's the law. But இங்கேயும் பார்த்தீங்கன்னா, you have to give benefit of doubt. But then when I'm saying my agricultural income is 4 lakhs of rupees, I should be able to convincingly with beyond ரொம்ப இன்ஃபர்மேஷனோட எவிடன்ஸோட காட்டினா தான் அது நிற்கும். Agricultural income, just as is exempt from tax, one thing, and for rich people will show so much income from the agriculture. One of the ways in which they would like to convert the black money into white money. But then that has to be, there is a way. And you my land is near Delta, Kaveri Delta, so we used to have 3 times. But then it was proved that he is not able to defend himself. Allah. So rental income இருக்குன்னாரு. அது investigation officer has made it less, whereas it is so much. But he could not explain with evidence. Secondly, the house valued as 4 lakhs. But he says that it cannot be that much. Agriculture income is 4 lakhs. But he is not able to prove that agriculture is 4 lakhs. And rental income, இதுலேருந்து எனக்கு வந்திருக்கு. and he was not able to exactly prove. Whereas the prosecution was able to prove what he's saying is wrong. So, Adanala, everything expenditure, gold given by parents that is being sold because he explained so well various judgments. What do you mean by known sources of income? And you are to be within that. Whereas you are not able to establish அது மாதிரி தான் கேஸ் நடந்திருக்கு, which we'll read in a beautiful judgment. Actually, it is wrong that media is showing as if the judge made a statement which is shocking, something like that. Everybody, but it is not that. What the Lordship said is, of course, it is like a advice, It is a correct advice, in a house, how the corruption starts, will tell all the bad habits or anything evils that start. Let us hear corruption is the issue. Now, when the person is going on, there's a different types of corruption. Now, you earn legally a lot of money, but you don't want to pay tax. Then naturally, you will have to do the not paying tax to the government is your mistake. That is law. You cannot say, Nana, I'm only earning money, so I have to pay tax and all. What is law, you abide by it. Otherwise, you will be in problem. So therefore, one is income earned legally, but you don't pay tax. You get into trouble, sir. Like Jayaprada, all film actors, Savitri and all last time and all, if you see, they had this problem. They earned by hard work, but then ultimately they did not pay the tax. Then got into various troubles, into penalties and all. Always be in legal, that is the best thing, Don't need to be peacefully, you can live. But if it comes to the people who are working in government, who are declared as public servants, there is a laws which are very tough laws. And even you perform extremely well, still you will get into troubles. But generally, people think police is a police constable, no? And opportunity வந்ததுன்னு அடிச்சிட்டாரு பணம் அடியண்டே அடிச்சு, and you would have not only took money, but you would have also indulged in so many illegal things. I mean, I don't know, but general police பார்த்தீங்கன்னா terrible. And ultimately you find that money goes nowhere. And then how to prevent it? இப்போ at the end of 50 to 60 years of life at the retirement, suffering, Already at 60, you don't eat money, eat anything. அதனால a long-term plan one has to make under the sum and substance of this case. அவர் எவ்வளவு beautiful lordships have written. It's very good. You have to mark it. Para 33, conclusion. It is the duty of the appellant, the wife of the public servant, to discourage her husband from receiving bribe. Philosophy of life is not to take bribe. If anyone accepts bribe, he and his family will be ruined. Once they enjoyed the ill-gotten money, they should suffer as Jesus Christ prophesied in the following phrases. If you try to make a profit dishonestly, you will get your family into trouble. Don't take bribes and you will live longer. What a beautiful statement. What you get by dishonesty, you may enjoy like the finest food, but sooner or later, it will be like a mouthful of sand. Do not accept a bribe, for a bribe makes people blind to what is right and ruins the cause of those who are innocent. Persons who get money dishonestly is like a bird that hatches eggs it didn't lay. In the prime of life, he will lose his riches, and in the end, he is nothing but a fool. In this country, corruption pervades in an unimaginable ratio. Corruption starts from home. If the homemaker is a party to the corruption, there is no end to corruption. Therefore, the Honorable former President APJ Abdul Kalam in his address asked the youth to start fighting corruption from the home in the following words. The question is, will the daughter or son would be bold enough to say to their corrupt father, please do not do that, namely corruption. Let us start from home. Therefore, the life for the appellant was bed of roses with the ill-gotten money, and she should face the consequences, namely conviction, and at least the minimum sentence imprisonment under Section 109. Read with Section 31E 32 Prevention of Corruption Act. Therefore, punishment imposed by the learned trial judge deserves no interference. The court below leniently awarded only 1 year of imprisonment and imposed a fine of ₹1,000 only. Accordingly, this criminal appeal is dismissed by confining the impugned judgment passed by the learned special judge. The bail bond executed by the appellant is hereby cancelled. The learned trial judge is hereby directed to secure the accused and confine her in prison to serve the remaining period of imprisonment imposed by the trial court, and also take steps to confiscate the purchased properties through illegal means as per law. So, everyone should read this. See whether wherever you see, when you go to police station and all, do you think anything will work? Even the latest we have seen, the car accident of a young person. The doctor who studied so much has taken 3 lakhs to change the blood. And police officials, MLAs, the nation is shocked. On one side, the 2 young people died and the dead bodies did not have eyes. They got stuck up in the middle. Whereas the riches, ill-gotten riches, you understand. This is what the judge said. Please read the judgment. One, the judgment is so good. I read detailedly, but I find it is very interesting for me because I'm an auditor, chartered accountant. Therefore, how he established the judge analyzed every bit of it. Why did the judge analyze every bit of it is, you should not think from the angle. He wanted to give see whether something is innocence, try to give her something, some relief. That is what, because he didn't enhance that punishment. He confined, all that lordships confirmed that the punishment given is ₹1,000 fine, 1 year imprisonment is too lenient for because it is not only of punishing that person, but a lesson to the society and others not to indulge in this. Not only a physical trauma, mental agony, but also shame in the society. And if suppose you don't do, you are honest, and something goes wrong, you can face it boldly. But definitely that advice is extremely important. A good criticizers in the form of wife, children, that is the greatest investment that one parent can do that. Being a teacher, I trained more than 1 lakh students. I realized that everybody, because I'm teaching CA students, I was teaching, all are rich people. And so many, everybody, my students, Mercedes car, every fellow has. But they all come and tell me that way, as what you advised us has been of this time. Because you do some mistake, GST you manipulate, and then you get stuck up. And all that. I'm not getting into myself, but then the media that presented is not correct. And it is a wonderful judgment. Judgment from the angle of a student, how the corruption charges can be established or can be disproved. How the Evidence Act has to be utilized. Here this person should have established, if I have got agricultural income of 4 lakhs, I am declaring, I should be able to convince. And if I say that I am getting so much rent, because he must have got, let us say the rent is true, but he must have got in cash without giving receipts. You should have taken in checks. This is my income I got through rents, 1,75,000. Agricultural income, and he received that. He should have deposited in the bank account with all those production details, everything sold. There's some cash component will be there in agricultural products. And then the gold, When you sell, you say 50 sovereigns my father gave. That may not have evidence, but then when you sell, there will be an evidence. And that money is sourced. So this dangerous situation. You would have been constables, no. It would have been not 6 lakhs or 7 lakhs. Generally, I don't want to talk bad of somebody, but it would have been, you see, in Sri Paramadu, these lands are there. 1 acre is 2 crores. If you sell, you'll give 10 lakhs only, check. So you can't sell the land if you want. You can't keep so much cash. You'll become, ED will catch you. Understand? So who will be paying you? Somebody check, you pay some 50% reduction also, you pay in check. There's nobody. So you can't sell it if you want. So these are all the part of the life. We have to have a beginning. You have to have a beginning. Thank you, friends.